So how you doing there, everyone? It is Super Saturday, August 19th in the year 2023. And here's my first cup of green tea for this morning. Hopefully you're doing outstanding. I want to tell you something real quick. This green tea, I've had it before. I love it. It's from See Me Tea. Can you see that, or is it reversed? I can't tell. It's reversed to my eyes on this camera, but if you can't read it, it's edible green tea. It's ground up green tea. It's Japanese sencha powder tea. And it's not bitter. It's delicious, rich, and smooth, according to this. And according to them, it has naturally more antioxidants than normal brewed green tea. It's easy to make. Hot or cold water, you just got to start well. Yeah, I'll show you that there. I don't know if you can read that. Probably can't, but you can always pause it, I guess, and try to read it if you want to. But anyway, CBT, they got a website. I ordered it online. It's not too bad. But anyway, with that being said, I'm Mazske Finance. I'm coming to you still from South Florida. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. And I'm trying not to sneeze again. I got a fan on above me, and sometimes it may kick up a little bit of dust. The missus is still gone. I pick her up later this week. And by the time she gets back here, it'll be about a month or so since she's been gone. Of course, I was there with her for the first 3, 4, 5 days in the country of Panama. So a lot of things are transpiring. What I was getting at then, I don't clean the house as well as the missus does. There's probably a little bit more dust in here than normal. So that's what I was getting at there. So anyway, a couple things transpired. I've given enough hints on my channel. I know I got a ton of videos. If you were to watch all my videos, you would know every single thing about me, literally. So, with that being said, things I'm thinking about if you're new to my channel, and thank you for all new subscribers, I appreciate it. I live in a pretty nice house here in South Florida. It's big. The ceilings out there are 15.5 to 16 feet high at their peak. High ceilings everywhere, not so much in this room. This room probably has 12-foot ceilings. I do have a nice swimming pool out there. I put a new surface on it with glass waterline tile. There was a fountain out there. I had built a 2-level dock down below. The lower level is great for launching kayaks or even canoes or paddle boards. 12 by 12 dock with a 4-pole tiki hut. Okay, that tiki hut was there prior to the hurricane. It withstood the hurricane. That dock down there was under approximately 4 feet of water, but you would not know it by looking at it. Okay, not a single drop of water did get in this house during that hurricane, by the way. So anyway, this house has been on the market now for a little bit over 5 months. Not a single offer. I know exactly why. I know why. And I knew this prior to putting it on the market. But I'm not going to say nothing bad about my realtor, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, because I was going by his guidance too. So anyway, with that being said, this house is a great house. It has a lot of amenities. It has shutters. It has electric. I could seal this house up completely is what I'm saying if a storm is coming. Okay, but what it is, it's original. It's 20 years old, maybe 21 years old now. The people that built it came here once a year, they said, for about 4 weeks. I think they ate out probably almost every meal because the microwave, the stove, the refrigerator looked literally brand new. My microwave out there, when I moved in here, I looked at the label on the inside. The date on it was 2002, and I moved in here 2.5 years ago. It looked brand new. My stove, I believe, is from 2002. The refrigerator, I believe, is from 2002. People notice that because they're older style. They're not old, but there is older style, but they work great. Okay. The tile floor is not what's in fashion right now. It is a tile floor throughout the house. The paint is 21 years old. To my eyes, it needs to be painted inside and outside. Okay. My furniture, I got the furniture with the house. It's old looking. It's probably, I know it's more than 20 years old, but it's in great shape, but it's old. So for folks coming in to buy it, they want for this price point, they want a pristine house. Meaning that if they see old furniture right away, boom, that's a turnoff. It makes everything look worse. And it just amplifies how this house is. So anyway, it's not selling. So what I'm thinking about doing, I think I've mentioned this. A couple things I'm thinking about doing. When the listing expires at 6 months, which is coming up pretty faster and faster as 6 months will be here soon. When it expires, I am going to do a rehab on this house. I am going to have it painted inside and outside. I am going to replace the majority of the furniture with newer, modern looking furniture. I'm going to replace all the appliances with newer, more modern appliances. Other things will be tweaked. Fans may be replaced. Knobs on cabinets and doors and various things like that. Little things. Maybe even light switches. I don't know. Little things. They'll be replaced with a different color, just more modernized. Okay. My pool does not have a pool heater. I got a video from a long time ago when I swam when the water was like 67 degrees and it was, my bones were feeling it. Okay. I will buy a pool heater for that pool. But once we rehab it, I can do one of two things. It'll take 4 to 6 weeks, according to the guy who says he'll do it, 4 to 6 weeks to do all this. And we may, depends on what I decide to do after the rehab, we may or may not put new floors down. I may put white porcelain tile floors down. We put them on top of this tile floor. Okay, so that's how we go on top of it. White porcelain tile, big squares, 32 by 32. I've seen houses with this. They look nice, like luxurious nice, like that white just looks luxurious nice. We would do that probably if we make this house a vacation house, an Airbnb, VRBO, that type of vacation house. Okay, if we do that, there's one dilemma. My plan has been to move to the country of Panama. Okay, if I sold this house, as an example, closing's tomorrow. This isn't happening, but if closing is tomorrow, we sign it, we get the money for the house. We have to pay our mortgage off, we get a little chunk of money. We fly down to Panama. We now have a chunk of money in the bank. We don't have to pay any bills. We don't have to pay the mortgage. We don't have to pay the electricity, the water, the pool maintenance, the internet, nothing. Because we wash our hands on it, we're done. But if we keep it and it's a vacation home, I still got to pay the mortgage. I still got to pay the electricity. I still got to pay the water. Still got to take care of the pool. Now I got to pay somebody to take care of the pool because I take care of the pool myself. Still got to pay someone to take care of the grass. If something goes bad in the house, I have to fix it. I'm responsible for the house. If that tiki hut roof blows off in the next storm, I'm responsible. If the roof starts leaking, I'm responsible. Okay, but I'm being told if it becomes a vacation home based on historical performance of vacation homes in this area, it should make a substantial amount in the course of a year once it gets established. That would be enough to completely pay my mortgage, my taxes, my insurance, hold money back for repairs and that sort of thing, pay my property management fee and all that kind of stuff. So I'd have a little bit of a profit at the end, okay, if it all comes to pass. Worst case scenario will be, let's say I can pay all expenses and I don't make a cent, okay? So I can do that. Maybe if it's successful, I rent it for the next 20 years. I don't know. Or maybe I rehab it and the market, it seems like the market here is bottomed out. And I think it's starting to pick back up a little bit. Season is coming, as they call it. Snowbirds are coming. It usually picks back up. It may or may not. I could do the rehab and put it back on the market, maybe at a slightly higher price point to recoup some of that money for the rehab, because the rehab will cost a little chunk of money. I could do that. I'm looking for feedback on this, what y'all think, by the way, okay? So if I rehab it, I could put it on the market, try to sell it again. But now I'm not living here because during the rehab, I can't be in here when they're painting this entire house and doing the floor and that kind of stuff. So we'll be down in Panama. The downside is while I'm in Panama, I'm paying all the bills here during the rehab. I got the mortgage, the power, the water, the pool, the grass, paying all those bills, which is a chunk of money. I can cancel my health insurance. I'm not shopping in the States. I'm shopping in Panama. Prices are going up in Panama, but it's still cheaper than here. Okay, so I can do this. So that's why I've been busier too, thinking about exactly what I want to do. I'm looking for feedback from you guys out there, you guys and gals. What do you think? Shoot me an email, put it in the comments below. If you know me, text me, I don't care. Let me know what you think. If you were me, would you try to do your best to fix the house up and put it back on market, to wash your hand, to walk away from it and put a chunk of money in your pocket? Because it could be a chunk of money. I'll explain it this way. The chunk of money I could get, knowing what my profit margin could be if I'm successful at a vacation home, knowing what that profit margin could be, it may take me roughly 7 years to make the amount of money that I would make if I sell this house, the amount of cash I could put back in my pocket. Let's just say that'd be 5 or 6 years. Now it might be 7 or 8 years because I don't know what my future expense will be. In the next 7 years, do I need to put a new roof in this house? Do I need to buy a hot water heater? What do I need to do? I don't know. So I got to look at that. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm getting a little bit older, right? You can look at me. I'm 55 years old. Soon be 56. Okay. But yet, it'd be another rental property for my portfolio. But yet, at the same time, let's think about this a little bit. Okay. Let's think about this. I know you guys are smart out there. And you live in different parts of the world. From my perspective, and I'm just one guy, from my perspective, storms are getting worse. Okay? Nature is revolting in a way. Yes, I know. You could say it's cyclical. I've said stuff for years. Nature is the weather is cyclical. But no matter if you're a denier or a believer, climate change, in my humble opinion, is real. Okay? It's happening. The water temps are rising. Ice is melting. Storms are getting worse. I read a book about climate change back in the late 80s. Okay? Everything it said in that book that I can remember is starting to come to pass. Okay? And so anyway, if you just look at what's going on in Canada right now, they got buku acres burning. It's been burning for months. When I was up in Chicago and Gary, Indiana a month or two ago, it was smoky from fires in Canada. It's still burning. It's still fires up there. The Maui in the one island in Hawaii. How many people have died there from the fire? It's terrible. It's terrible. Fires. There's a tropical storm / perhaps hurricane headed for Southern California. No tropical storm has hit Southern California since 1939. Okay. So there's been flooding here where I live at in Southwest Florida. No hurricane has directly hit this area to their knowledge, because the city came about in the late 50s, 1960. Prior to that, was the last time something directly hit this area. The city's never flooded. Those canals have never flooded like they just did. I told you my dock was underwater by 4 feet. It flooded. Okay? So what never happens is happening. All right? Studies are showing, and you cannot predict the future. Nobody can predict the future. But studies are showing flooding is going to get worse in coastal communities. Not just where I'm at in Florida, everywhere, up and down the East Coast. Texas, where it borders the water, California, Oregon, Washington, from Maine down to Florida. Okay? Coastal communities will flood more than they are now. Florida is flat. My elevation in this house is, according to a survey I had done, was 8 feet high. My floor is 8 feet high. If I put tile on top of this floor, I'd have another inch or two to that. An inch or two may help keep water out. Okay. So knowing that, I do pay flood insurance here. Okay. I do realize if the next storm, or 2 storms from now, or 3 storms from now, is worse than Hurricane Ian last year, the water came within 6 inches, I guess, of being on my pool deck. Once it's on my pool deck, it's another 4 inches maybe to get through that sliding glass door. Okay. Plus, if it gets that high, would there become any leak somewhere? Somewhere. On my front of my house, the water was up. My car that I drive, I pulled it where the bumper, my wife's car was in the garage. I pulled my car where the front bumper was almost touching the garage door. My driveway has a slant going up it just a bit. Okay. I could look out the garage door window during the storm, and at the peak of the water coming up, because the street was flooded, the front tire had water at the bottom of the tire. So another 4 feet, it would have been touching the garage door. If it touches the garage door, it's gone under the garage door. There's some little gaps in there. It's gone under. It's in my garage. If it gets in my garage, you got 4 or 5 inches till it gets in that door. Okay, so I don't know if that's going to happen ever. I can't predict the future, but it could. It could. If this is a vacation home and there's a hurricane coming, odds are nobody is living in this house during a storm. They would be told, you need to leave. You need to evacuate. If they refuse to leave, It's at their peril, right? Because we would tell them, my apartment manager would say, you need to leave, evacuate, get out. All right. But yet, if the house floods, I'm not living here. So I don't personally experience it, but this is my house. Okay. So I'd have to pay for that damage. Yes, I have flood insurance. Yes, I have homeowners insurance. But let me ask you this. Do you trust any homeowners insurance? I don't. I do not trust them one single bit. Why do I say that? You can say I'm sarcastic or cynical or whatever you might say. But here in Florida, when the hurricane hit, it's almost a year later. People are still dealing with insurance companies. They are not getting the money. I know people that had $40,000 worth of damage and they're offered checks for $5,000, $3,000, $7,000, $10,000. They're not getting the money. There are half a dozen insurance companies that were in Florida that went bankrupt. They went out of business. Okay. Different insurance companies have pulled out of Florida. They've pulled, Farmers, I think it is, pulled out of Florida, or maybe, I might forget the name of it, I can't remember. Another one pulled out of California, okay? With Hawaii, with Canada, with Vermont flooding. This area, Southwest Florida, lost 100,000 cars, because if a car floods with all the modern electronics, they lost 100,000 cars. Car insurance is going up, okay? So knowing what I've just told you, knowing from your perspective, what would you do if you were Maskey? What advice would you give to Maskey? Would you try to rehab your house just a little bit and sell it? Would you cut the price of this house where you still make a little bit of a profit, but not the bigger profit? Cut the price even more and try to sell it? Would you rehab and sell it, rehab it and make it a vacation home? Because the flooding that I'm talking about, it might happen next month. It might happen in 2024. It might happen in 2047. It may never happen. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And if it does happen, you deal with it when it happens, okay? And maybe if I make a profit on this house, if this house becomes a successful vacation home, because people are paying big bucks to come to Florida. I mean, big bucks. Some houses they're paying $1,000 a night in the wintertime, which is crazy. Rich people. But if I make a profit on this house and I'm living in Panama and I already have enough money to live on down there, I would probably spend the money back around and pay this mortgage down. Because it's a big mortgage. And I would pay it down, which means as time goes on, if property values do drop in Florida because of flooding, which you don't know, then my mortgage balance would not be so high. So if I had to sell it at a lower price, I can still pocket a little bit of money. That's just an idea, just a thought. I'm not, again, a spring chicken. I'm not 30 years old. I'm in my mid-50s, knocking on the door, knock, knock, to 60. Okay? So what do? That's why I drink green tea. Green tea is super healthy. Okay? I don't remember all the terminology of it. Green tea is super healthy. Water, hydrate with it. Super healthy. Kiwi fruit, eat it. Super healthy. Walnuts, cashews, pecans, peanuts, almonds, super healthy. Eat them. You know what I realized this morning? This morning was my egg day. I saute in extra virgin olive oil garlic, 3 garlic cloves, chop it up, wait 10 minutes after you chop up garlic, because then it releases the allicin, like it makes it better. Chopped up red onion, red pepper, but I was out of mushrooms. I was out of mushrooms. I know why, because I used technology yesterday, day before, 2 days ago, I used technology, Instacart, to get some groceries, and I'm looking on my phone or my tablet at what I need, trying to remember what I need, and I forgot to add mushrooms to it. So I didn't have my mushrooms. So I need to go to the store and get some mushrooms. But I did have my turmeric and my ginger and my Himalayan pink salt and my cinnamon and black pepper. And I got my green tea. So with that being said, health and wealth. You got to be healthy, you got to be wealthy. My goal of this channel has been to help any and all of you that tune into it. I talked to one of you yesterday on the telephone. My goal was to help you out. So I'm looking for advice here. What would you do if you're in a messy situation? Because I have racked my brain going through pros and cons. Every adventure has pros and cons. Every time you invest, there's risk. There's always risk every single time. Okay? So I'm just looking for feedback. I will make my own decision. Okay, what I'll do. I'm just looking for feedback from you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all new subscribers. Thank you for clicking the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Keep loving life. Stay safe in all you do. And do start investing because it'll make your future better than it is today. Have a great day. Maskies signing out.